Crash out time. Crash out time. I was watching May the Zoo Be With You today, just like everybody that is into Magic should, and into trading card games in general. And it's a podcast done by Kitchen Table TCG. And it triggered me. It triggered me, just like it always does. Usually I'm triggered in the good way. But today's was in the way that inspires me to make a video. So it's kind of a good way, but it's just different. It's just different. Strictly different. So what's the deal? The deal is that yes, I'll say the moment from the podcast that kind of triggered me. And it was when, Josh and Louie are having their back and forth like they do, which is great. Like I said, I love this podcast. I'm going to watch it till the day I die or it stops. Hopefully never. And Louie was pointing out how Josh got a lot of product for a great price when it was cheap. And Josh kind of apologetically explained that he, was someone with money at a time when the Pokemon sellers, is what they're talking about, needed money, and that Josh bought these products for cheap, but that it was a consensual exchange, that the stores that were selling to him wanted to sell him the stuff and he wanted to buy it. And in hindsight, he got a crazy good deal, right? He was buying these Pokemon booster boxes for $90. I know this is about Magic, boo Pokemon, but I'll get to the point. But he got this crazy good deal years ago. And then those boxes have spiked in price now. And now he's made great money on them. But it was so apologetic, as if he had stolen something from those poor game store owners that were trying to get rid of their $90 Pokemon booster boxes. And it gets me thinking. And it actually reminds me of Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder. He made a video recently where he talks about the different kinds of collectors. And in his mind, there's collectors that collect along with playing in the hobby. And there's collectors that collect, but they don't engage with the hobby. And there's collectors that are kind of like whales that are putting in a ton of money into the hobby, but they are collecting, they're keeping the stuff. And then there's collectors that are not really collectors, they're scalpers. I mean, they come into the hobby, and the way he explains it is they extract value, right? They come in, they buy stuff, they go off, they try to sell it, etc. And both Kevin and Josh, I think, are aware of how derogatory the vibe in the community is towards somebody that buys something low and then sells it for high. Because the vibes are just off. It's like the way Kevin talks about it is like the heartless basement sellers that are just extracting value from the hobby. That they're not adding anything to the hobby, they're extracting value out of it. And I love Kevin and I listen to all of his stuff. I would be like all these people are way out of my league, right? I'm not punching up. I'm trying to summarize what they're doing and then trying to make my own point, my own opinion. And I've listened to Kevin talk about, evil basement sellers for years. He doesn't call them evil, I'm putting words in his mouth, but heartless, a lot better. Heartless basement sellers. And I was like, am I that? And maybe I am. I might be the evil scalper. Like, I buy Magic products for good prices and then break them down. I transform Magic products in a way that adds value that people are willing to pay me money for. That is what I do. In one of two ways. I either break down sealed Magic products into the individual cards, and for whatever reason, people are willing to spend more money on the cards than they are the sealed product, or I buy things and then I put time into it. They sit on my shelf and they gain value, except those ones haven't really. But anyway, except for Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is actually doing kind of hot. What is Final Fantasy doing these days? Should look that up. So I buy Magic products, I put something into them, whether it's breaking them down or it's time, and then I sell them and make money. And now, I don't think, now, according to Kevin's definition of like a heartless basement seller, I am not one, because I am adding community or value to the hobby, right? Although maybe I'm making it worse because I'm like inspiring other heartless basement sellers. I don't, I don't know if I would be a net positive on the hobby, according to Kevin. I think I would be, but hard to know for sure. And um, the reality is that we've done nothing wrong. It's very weird. It's a very weird thing to feel ashamed or feel like you got somebody good because you took something and transformed it, whether it was through your labor or through time, and then sold it, and somebody consensually paid you money for it, and somehow you're a bad person. And this is the reason I'm going off on this, is because I have studied this. For years of my life, I've studied economics, which economics is the science of scarcity. It is studying scarcity. There could not be a more fitting science to understand trading card games, since trading card games are built around scarcity. That's why they sell booster packs, right? They're randomized. The good stuff is scarce. And there's a reality, and I talked about this in my Econ 101 video. There's a reality about trading, which is that when two people come together with different preferences and they mutually agree upon a trade, they both walk away better off. So, and this is just like obvious if you think about it. When you go to the store to buy a Snickers, why do you buy the Snickers? It's because you would rather have the Snickers than the $1.40 or whatever. I don't know what Snickers go for these days. With inflation, it could be like $5. I wouldn't really know. I should know. Should pay closer attention to my budget. Anyway, so of course, the reason you buy the Snickers is because you're better off with the Snickers and without the money. That's why you do what you do. And there's some assumptions in economics, like that people are rational. They're not, but still, it's like if we trust people to act in their best self-interest, they're going to make exchanges all the time, trading their money for goods, and they're going to be happier because of it. Why is it so wrong that you bought a March of the Machines March of the Machines, not Aftermath, collector booster box for years ago for $240, and today they sell for $725, and you sell it today and somebody pays you $725 for it on TCG Player because they want it. They want it. That's me, by the way. If you have a March of the Machines collector booster box and you want to cut me a deal, reach out, email below. They will pay you money because they want it, and they're better off with it than without it. Once again, we're assuming rationality and stuff like that, but anyways. And then suddenly you're the evil scalper or whatever. You're extracting money from the hobby. You need to be timid. And I see this in all the YouTubers out there, and it's okay. It's okay, because like, if you want to be popular, you gotta like play by certain rules, and that's totally cool. But one of those rules is like, you can't be too bullish about buying low and selling high. You cannot like brag about it. You can't be like, yeah, I bought March of the Machine for $240 back when they were cheap, and now I'm selling them for $700 and making good money. It's like there's something about that grinds against the gears, or the content creators and people are just uncomfortable with, which is just that you can make money in the hobby, and you were not shafting the game store that you bought from back in 20 whatever. When did March of the Machines come out? I'll look that up. But you're not shafting that game store They sold it for $240 because they wanted to sell it for $240, and you bought it for $240 because you wanted to buy it for $240. If both parties are consenting adults, then how could it possibly be a bad thing? Oh, wait. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. When we're talking about trading cards and you're selling a trading card booster box, it's a win-win. If you get to sell, now you can say like, oh, I feel so bad for the store. They have to sell below MSRP or whatever. Yeah, that's okay. But look, the store, you got to trust them to do what's best for them. And if it's selling, they're going to sell. And if they want to hold, they're going to hold. And that is okay. This is the thing. This is the reason why stores that sell at MSRP and not at market are actually, I mean, it can be publicity. There's lots of reasons to do it. There's lots of reasons to sell at MSRP. You can build customer loyalty. You can have, like, I've seen stores, this is quite clever in my opinion, is, you have like a local Patreon program or just a local Discord. And so your locals, the regular customers, get a box at MSRP or whatever when it's a product that would normally market price would be way above MSRP. You sell to your locals at MSRP, and that could drive loyalty and goodwill from customers and build a community, and that all makes sense. But wow, if you are just getting boxes of product and you're like, it's a matter of principle, I will sell at MSRP and I will sell out instantly because somebody's driving from across the country. Actually, Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder talks about this, that like, and once again, he's talking about Pokemon, boo Pokemon. But, the reality is with Magic too, Magic collector booster boxes are this way as well, where if the MSRP is $240 for a box and Secrets of Strixhaven are selling for, $350, $400, whatever at market, if you're just going to sell, and by the way, I don't know if Secrets of Strixhaven are $240 a box. I'll look it up. Secrets of Strixhaven collector booster box MSRP. Tell me what it is. What fluctuates between 430? 323. Okay, right. So if 323 is the MSRP and market is $400, and you're like, no, I'm going to sell these at MSRP, $323 for a collector booster box, somebody's just going to come and wipe you out, and then they sell it and they make money. And Kevin points this out. Louis points, like every game store owner I know of points this out, because this is just the reality, the economic reality, which is that you can't beat the market price. You selling at MSRP, you're not a hero. You could be a local hero or whatever, and you could have great reasons to do it. But man, if you're not getting something out of it, if you're not getting loyalty or goodwill or, I don't know, some kind of street cred, if you just sell online to randos and you're just selling the cheapest price, then you're just going to get bought up by the evil scalpers like me. And we'll turn around and sell it and make money. This is what happens to Wizards of the Coast, every secret lair drop, right? Like their commander secret lair. They sold the Goblin Storm deck for $150. I think it was $150. And then people immediately turned it around and sold on eBay for its real price. The market price is the real price. This is part of economics too, is that creators of a product don't get to choose the price. Well, you can. You can choose one of two things. You can choose the quantity you'll sell or the price. You can choose one of those. Even if you're a monopoly, even if you have complete market control, you cannot set both. You cannot say, I'm going to make infinite and sell it for infinite cost. If you could, that's what they would do, right? But even if you're a monopoly, there's a force in the market. There are market forces that are working against you unless you listen to them. Unless you charge market price. What are people willing to pay for this product? And when you charge that, it's actually better off. It's better for everybody, which is crazy. People are like, how could it be better for everybody to charge $400 for your Secrets of Strixhaven collector booster box instead of the $323? This is how it's better. Who's going to buy the collector booster box of Secrets of Strixhaven for $400? The person who wants it for $400. Who's going to buy it for $323? Well, the people who want it for $323. Who deserves it more? Seriously. Like, who deserves the collector booster box more? And you could say like, oh, this is, you know, now it's about money and the rich deserve everything, whatever. Like, the rich don't deserve everything. And income inequality is a serious, real issue. And it's probably actually like one of the issues I'm most passionate about. But I'm also passionate that if you want something, you get it. Like, and this is just a reality. And this is studied in economics too. You can go to some of the poorest places in the world and be very surprised at what they have there, because what you prioritize, what you really want, is what you're going to get. And there's lots of concerns in our lives outside of trading cards. When we're talking about trading cards, this is such fugazi kind of bull crap. Like, there's no room for us to talk about like, you know, oh, you know, you have a right to buy a booster box, a collector booster box for $323. Like, what are we talking about? You have a right to use your money how you see fit. But the second we talk about trading cards, like, who wants it more? Who wants that collector booster box more? And it's the person who's willing to trade $400 from their collection to get the booster box. Like, we all have collections. They're all worth money. If you wanted that Secrets of Strixhaven collector booster box really bad, you could get it, but you don't. You want it for $323. But guess what? When you sell it to the person who wants it for $323, what are they going to do? Because they don't want it for $400 and someone else is willing to pay them $400. So what do? They're going to sell it. Like, there's this fantasy we have that's like, oh, if we charge things, make things cheap, the poor people that are super passionate are going to be the ones that get it. No, that's not what happens. Is that what happens with Secret Lair? What happens with Secret Lair is you buy it because you think you want it, and then you realize that the real market price of the item is quadruple what you paid for it, and then people sell it, and they sell it apologetically like, hey guys, I'm not a scalper. I just didn't realize that this was worth this much. Yeah, what are we ashamed of? If you buy something, you know, if you bought that Snickers for $1.40, but on the way out, somebody's like, I will give you $10 for that Snickers. You're not a scalper. You're not an evil person. You just bought something you thought you wanted, or you did want, for $1.43 or whatever. And now someone's coming along offering you more money because they really want that Snickers. These are all adults making transactions that are mutually beneficial. And we're talking about trading cards. Is my dog trying to get him? Hey, Maisie. Cute. She's looking like right at the camera. That's great. So, okay. It's been 17 minutes. I am so bugged by how apologetic everyone is that you buy things low and sell them high. If you buy something and hold on to it and time appreciates that item, you have taken upon risk and you have exerted patience. And if the market wants to pay you quadruple for that item, you deserve it. You've earned it. And maybe you haven't like earned it like somebody who goes and works for a 9 to 5 has earned it. It's a little different, but it's just the way things work. You know, economics, I studied economics and I studied political science with emphasis in both political philosophy and international relations. And the political philosophy is fascinating because there's morality in it, right? There is what is right, what is wrong. And you get all these really interesting characters like John Locke and Thomas Hobbes and Immanuel Kant, and you get Rousseau, that son of a gun Rousseau, man. Comment below if you want me to rant on Rousseau someday. That'd be good. It actually ties into this topic really well. Rousseau would be like, no, these are ill-gotten gains. Like, Rousseau hates scalpers, for sure. But I study economics, and economics is really what I focused my education in. And economics is amoral. Which makes you think like it's immoral. It's not immoral, it's amoral. There's no morality to reality. right? If you want to understand how the universe works, like, is physics moral? Is gravity moral? Gravity kills and gravity helps. Is it moral? And just like how there's laws in physics, there are laws in economics. And that is what I'm referencing. And so it is just so bizarre. And I love Magic. And I love Magic's culture. And I love being a part of it. I love being in the conversation. And that's what I'm doing. I am being a part of the conversation so that people can comment below and tell me that I'm a fool. And it's great. I'm here for it. But to exist in this culture that's like, ooh, did you buy something, then take the risk upon yourself and hold on to it for years, and then you're able to make money from it? Did you do that? Like, to live in this culture where people feel that way is preposterous. It would be akin to being like, wow, I can't believe plants use photosynthesis, or I can't believe that gravity accelerates matter at 9.8 meters per second. It's just like this reality, these economic realities we see play out. No matter how much shaming it gets done on Twitter, people will always be able to buy low and sell high because those are the market forces. And at the end of the day, the person who wants the March of the Machine collector booster box for $725 is going to buy it. Like me, I'm going to be buying it, hopefully from one of you. So good times, y'all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. I'll try to make like a really spicy thumbnail to, get as many people to get upset by what I'm saying as possible. But thanks for watching. Subscribe. Huge shout out to my patrons. Thanks for being huge supporters of the channel. And thanks for watching and being a supporter of the channel. So anyways, thank you. We'll see you.